Hello, my dear one. I'm so glad you're here right now. Just the fact that you've shown up right here in this moment tells me something beautiful about you. It tells me that somewhere inside you are ready to feel better, ready to hear something softer than the noise in your mind, ready to begin a gentle shift. I want you to know that you are not alone in what you're feeling. You are not wrong for feeling tired, confused, or even lost at times. That voice inside your head can be loud. It can repeat old stories, fears, doubts, and judgments. And if you've been listening to it for a long time, it might even sound like it's the truth. But what I want to share with you today is this: you are more than the voice in your head. You are so much more than any thought you've ever had. You are not your thoughts. You are the presence that notices those thoughts. You are the light that shines even when the mind is dark. And that part of you, the real, loving, whole part of you, has never been broken. It has never been wrong. It has simply been waiting patiently for you to turn inward and listen, not to the noise, but to the truth. That is what we are doing here. You are learning to hear the truth again, not the old programming, not the painful echoes of the past, but the gentle, steady whisper of your true self. So, take a moment. Wherever you are, place your hand softly over your heart. Breathe deeply. Feel that steady rhythm. That is life speaking through you. That is your essence, your being, your true self. The thoughts that come and go, they are like clouds in the sky, but the sky itself is vast, open, unchanging. That sky is you. The thoughts will pass, but your spirit, your heart, your love, that is forever. When we begin to see thoughts as something that happen, not something we are, we open up space inside, space to choose again, space to breathe, space to be kind. Sometimes the thoughts in our head have been running for so long that they feel automatic. They feel familiar and, yes, even safe. But often, those familiar thoughts are not kind. They say things like, "You're not good enough," or "You should have done better," or "Why are you like this?" And these words, repeated day after day, create pain in the body and fear in the heart. But there is nothing wrong with you for having these thoughts. You are not weak or broken because your mind repeats things that hurt. You are simply human, living in a world that taught you certain messages. You were told stories, and now your mind replays them. But just because something is repeated doesn't make it true. Let's look at this voice together, not with shame, but with curiosity. That voice in your head may have once tried to protect you. It may have learned to be harsh because it believed criticism would keep you in line, keep you safe, help you succeed. But now you are seeing, gently and clearly, that this way of thinking no longer serves you. In fact, it has kept you small, tired, and afraid. And you, my dear, were not born to live in fear. You were born to love and be loved. You were born to feel peace, to shine with ease, to walk gently in your own power. The journey back to that truth begins not with pushing the voice away, but by observing it softly. Like watching leaves float down a stream, we can watch our thoughts and not follow everyone. We can choose which thoughts to believe, and we can plant new ones, thoughts that soothe, thoughts that heal. One of the most powerful things you can say to yourself is this: just because I think it doesn't mean it's true. You can feel the weight lift when you say that. You can feel the space open inside. That's because truth brings peace. The mind will offer many thoughts, but only the heart knows what is real. So, what happens when we begin to speak kindly to ourselves? What happens when we pause and say, I am doing my best, and that is enough? A miracle happens. The nervous system relaxes, the muscles soften, the breath deepens, and the energy of the body begins to return to a state of balance. This is not magic. It is the natural result of love. Love is the most healing force in the universe. And when we turn that love inward, the transformation begins. You don't have to fix everything all at once. You don't have to silence every thought. You just begin, one moment at a time, one thought at a time, with gentleness. Right now, in this very moment, you are doing something powerful. You are shifting your relationship with your own mind. You are becoming the observer, the guide, the nurturer of your inner world. And that changes everything. You don't need to fight the voice in your head. You only need to listen to it with love and respond with something softer, something truer, something like, I hear you and I choose peace. The voice in your head is not the enemy. It is simply old programming that has never been questioned. But now you are asking, is this loving? Is this helpful? Is this true? And with each question, you take your power back. There is a stillness inside you. Beneath the thoughts, beneath the noise, there is a calm presence. It's always been there, waiting. That presence is not afraid. It does not judge. It does not rush. It simply loves. That is who you are. When you feel overwhelmed, when the voice is loud, come back to the breath. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe deeply and say softly, I am more than this thought. I am safe now. I choose love. Let that become your new pattern, not through force, but through kindness, not through control, but through awareness. You are learning to live from a deeper place, a place where love leads the way, a place where your worth is never in question, a place where your thoughts no longer control you. They support you. Let's take a moment now and speak to the mind in a new way. Let these words become a balm to the places that have felt sore and tired for too long. I am safe in my mind. My thoughts do not control me. I am kind to myself today. I choose peace, and peace chooses me. These are not just words. These are seeds. Each time you repeat them with intention, you are planting a new reality, one rooted in softness, in healing, in self-trust. You are not your doubts. You are not your fears. You are the awareness that sees them all. And that awareness is full of love. There is no rush, no race, only a gentle unfolding. Day by day, you are returning home to yourself, not the version of you that was shaped by the world, but the original you, the quiet, wise, radiant you, the one who knows how to love without condition, the one who knows how to breathe through the storm, the one who knows you are more than the voice in your head. You are light, you are love, and you are whole. So often, the loudest thoughts in the mind are the ones that are least kind. They echo like old recordings, repeating the same messages over and over. And for a long time, those messages may have seemed like truth, but what if they were never really yours to begin with? What if they were just things you picked up along the way? Phrases, ideas, fears passed down from others who were hurting too. The mind is a collector of memories, patterns, and protection strategies. But those patterns are not who you are. They are simply habits of thinking. The inner critic, that voice that seems so quick to judge, is not your true self. It is a learned voice. And the beautiful truth is, what was learned can be unlearned. What was once accepted can now be released. When the inner critic speaks, it often sounds urgent. It tells stories of not being good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. But behind all those stories is one core misunderstanding: the belief that your worth depends on something outside of you, on perfection, on approval, on constant doing. And that is simply not true. You were born worthy. Before the world told you who you should be, you already were someone sacred and whole. The true self does not demand or criticize. It does not scold. It simply shines. As you begin to hear that critical voice, I invite you to listen with curiosity, not fear. You might ask gently, where did this come from? And even more powerfully, do I want to keep this? You see, the mind can be re-educated. It can be shown new ways to speak. The critic inside doesn't need more punishment. It needs your kindness. When you meet the inner critic with love, it begins to soften. When you no longer believe its every word, it loses its power. Let this be your quiet revolution, not to silence the mind with force, but to surround it with so much love that it learns a new language, one of patience, one of encouragement, one of truth. Because the truth is, you are doing your best. You are growing. You are learning. And that is enough. Each time you catch a thought that feels harsh, you have a choice. You can follow it down the old familiar path of shame, or you can pause and breathe. You can say to yourself, that's an old story. I'm not walking that road today. And instead, you can choose a new response, one that reflects who you are becoming, not who you were told to be. You might start by saying softly within, I am gentle with myself. I am learning how to love the parts of me that feel afraid. These kinds of words bring light into the mind. They dissolve the fog of judgment and let you see more clearly. And the clearer you see, the freer you become. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. When you start noticing your thoughts, instead of believing them automatically, a space opens up inside. That space is powerful. In that space, you get to decide what you keep and what you release. You are no longer a passenger. You are the one holding the steering wheel. And when you look at yourself through this new lens, through the eyes of compassion, you begin to heal parts of yourself that have waited years to be seen, to be held, to be forgiven. That is the miracle of awareness. It brings light to the shadows and reminds you that you have always been worthy of love. The body hears every thought you think. Every word you whisper to yourself is carried into the cells, into the muscles, into the breath. And the body responds, not just to food and movement, but to energy, to kindness, to peace, or to fear. When we speak to ourselves with criticism, the body tightens, the shoulders rise, the jaw clenches, the breath becomes shallow. But when we speak with love, the body begins to relax. The heart opens, the nervous system softens. Healing becomes possible. Thoughts are not just clouds passing by. They are signals, and the body listens closely. When you say, I can't, your body contracts. When you say, I'm safe, your body breathes a little easier. This is the beautiful connection between mind and body. They are partners. What you think affects how you feel, and how you feel influences what you believe. So today, we begin tending to this partnership with more care. You can start by becoming more aware of how your body feels when certain thoughts arise. Notice the tension, notice the tightness, and instead of ignoring it, offer presence. Place a hand over the place that feels tight and simply breathe. Say to yourself, It's okay to feel. I am safe now. The body wants to heal. It is always moving toward balance. When we align our thoughts with love, we support that natural healing. We no longer fight ourselves. We become our own ally. And what a powerful shift that is, from enemy to friend, from fear to trust. One of the most beautiful practices is mirror work. Stand in front of the mirror, look gently into your own eyes, and speak with kindness. You don't need to say much. Just a simple, I love you, I'm here with you, we're okay, can work wonders. In the beginning, it may feel strange, but with time, the mirror becomes a doorway, a place where you meet your true self again and again, a place where healing begins with one loving phrase at a time. It's also helpful to create moments of stillness throughout the day. You don't need an hour, even 1 minute of silence, of breathing, of coming back to yourself can shift the entire day. During that stillness, you might say inwardly, my thoughts are gentle, my body is safe, I am at peace. These affirmations are not about pretending everything is perfect. They are about offering the body and mind a new way to relate, one rooted in kindness, not fear, one based in truth, not old stories. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The body begins to trust you, the mind begins to calm, and you realize healing is not a faraway goal. It's a moment-by-moment return to love. Your inner dialogue is something you carry with you always. Like the rhythm of your breath or the beat of your heart, it becomes the background music of your life. And when that music is harsh, life feels heavy. But you can change the tune. You can choose to speak in ways that lift rather than lower, that support rather than shame, that empower rather than shrink. It begins with small shifts. Instead of, I always mess up, you can say, I'm learning and growing. Instead of, nothing works for me, you can say, I'm open to new possibilities. These are not just phrases, they are pathways. Each loving thought you choose is a new road that leads you somewhere softer, somewhere lighter, somewhere true. The voice of love may be quiet at first, but the more you listen, the louder it grows. It speaks with encouragement. It says, you are doing enough. It says, you are not alone. It says, you are deeply loved. This is the voice you were born with, the voice that was covered over by fear but never disappeared. It's still here, waiting for you to return. And you are returning more and more with each breath, each thought, each moment of care. Your words create your world. Your thoughts shape your days. And when you fill your inner space with love, everything begins to change. Not because you force it, but because you allow it. You allow love to rise. You allow healing to unfold. You allow yourself to be exactly as you are, and still completely worthy. Let today be a new chapter, a chapter where you speak to yourself as you would to someone you dearly love. Because you do deserve love. You always have. And now you are remembering. There is a beautiful shift that begins to happen when you realize you don't have to believe every thought that passes through your mind. You don't have to follow every doubt or fear. You are allowed to pause, to breathe, and to simply observe. There is power in noticing. When you notice a thought without clinging to it, you open space, and in that space, something softer can enter, a new voice, a kinder whisper, a gentle reminder that you are the one who gets to choose what stays. Thoughts may appear, but you are not their prisoner. You are their witness. The more you witness without judgment, the more you reclaim your peace. Let's say you notice a thought like, I'm not doing enough. Instead of believing it, you can ask, is this loving? Is this kind? Is this even true? You are not fighting the thought. You're simply seeing it for what it is, a moment in the mind, a cloud passing through the sky. And you, dear one, are the sky. This space between you and your thoughts is sacred. It is the beginning of freedom. You are no longer swept away by the tide. You are standing on solid ground. In this space, you can breathe. You can smile. You can choose again. And each time you choose peace over panic, trust over doubt, love over fear, you are building a new way of being. A helpful practice is to simply pause throughout the day and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Often, what we believe in the moment shapes everything we feel. And sometimes, we are believing something that isn't even ours, something passed down or picked up long ago. But once you notice, you can change it. You can gently say, that's not my truth anymore. I choose love. You can do this anywhere. You don't need silence or a special place. Even in the middle of a busy day, you can return to yourself. A quiet breath, a soft word, a moment of stillness. These are doorways back to peace. You don't need to wait for the world to be calm. You can carry the calm within you. And the beautiful truth is, the more you practice this space between thought and self, the more naturally it comes. You begin to live in a rhythm of peace. You begin to trust your own inner wisdom. And the voice that once seemed so loud begins to quiet down because it no longer has all your attention. This is not about perfection. It's not about controlling the mind. It's about coming home to yourself again and again with love. It's about remembering that you are not the storm. You are the safe place where the storm passes. When you begin to treat yourself with compassion, something remarkable happens. The heart begins to open, not because it was closed forever, but because it was waiting for permission. And compassion is that permission. It says you don't have to be perfect to be loved. It says you are worthy, even in your most uncertain moments. And with those words, the walls begin to fall away. Self-compassion is not weakness, it is strength. It is the courage to see your humanity and still offer love. It is the willingness to stay with yourself when things get messy. It is the hand on your own heart when the world feels overwhelming. This kind of compassion can be practiced. You can write a letter to yourself, not from your mind, but from your heart. Let the words be gentle. Let them speak to the part of you that feels unseen. Let yourself say, I am here, I care, I will not abandon you. This simple act of kindness becomes a bridge. It reconnects you to your essence, and that essence is love. You can also return to the mirror, not with a goal, but with presence. Look into your own eyes and say, I love you. Even if there is resistance, even if it feels strange, the heart hears it. And little by little, it opens. You might place your hands over your body and thank it. Thank you for carrying me. Thank you for trying so hard. Thank you for staying. These words, so simple, begin to rebuild the foundation of self-trust. There is nothing you need to fix before you are worthy of compassion. You don't need to earn your own love. You only need to allow it, to soften into it, to trust that it's safe to be kind to yourself. And when you make compassion your home, everything changes. The voice in your head becomes a little more loving. The heart becomes a little more open. The days become a little more peaceful. And you begin to see yourself not through the lens of fear, but through the eyes of truth. There comes a moment when you realize The mind cannot carry the whole story. It cannot understand the mystery of who you are. It can only analyze, compare, repeat. But there is another place within, a deeper knowing, a stillness beneath the noise, a wisdom that rises not from logic, but from life itself. This is where intuition lives. This is where joy begins. When the mind quiets, the heart speaks. And what it says is always loving, always whole, always enough. You were never meant to live in your head. You were meant to live fully in your body, your breath, your spirit. When you step outside of the mind's limitations, you step into a greater truth, a truth where you are connected to something larger, something timeless, something divine. You begin to feel the rhythm of the universe pulsing through you. You begin to hear the soft guidance that was always there, not loud, not forceful, just steady, just real. And from this place, life becomes something different. It becomes less about control and more about trust, less about fixing and more about allowing, less about proving and more about being. The world may still swirl around you. The voices may still rise from time to time. But now, you know something deeper. You know that peace is not the absence of thought. It is the presence of love. And you carry that presence within you. One of the most beautiful things you can do is begin your day with this intention. Today, I will speak to myself with love. I will trust the wisdom of my heart. I will walk gently. I will allow joy. And at the end of the day, you can reflect with grace. I am proud of how I showed up. I forgive what needs forgiving. I rest in love. These small choices shape a beautiful life, a life not ruled by the mind, but guided by the heart, a life that feels true. So take this with you wherever you go. The voice in your head is not who you are. It is a part of your experience, but it does not define you. You are the one listening. You are the one choosing. You are the one awakening. You are more than the thoughts you think. You are more than the patterns you've repeated. You are more than the stories you've been told. You are light. You are healing. You are love in motion. And as you continue on this path, let these words become your anchor. I trust the quiet part of me. I choose peace over fear. I am safe to be myself. I am already enough. This is your truth. This is your power. This is your time. Go gently. Go kindly. Go with love. And know that you are deeply, endlessly supported in every step you take toward yourself. The universe is always with you, and so is the love within.